I think when we hear the phrase embodiment practices or the word embodiment, it's easy to let our minds run wild, as if this isn't something we were literally made to do. We are literally doing. And I think it's really a question of considering, what are we embodying and what do we want to embody? And when we can answer those questions, it's a lot easier to see how we can get there. Practical, simple embodiment is possible. Hello, sweet friends. I'm Reyna. Welcome back. Today, we're talking about embodiment practices. I kind of struggled with what I wanted to talk about because I think it's really broad. And I think the biggest thing that I want to impart, your methods of embodiment are yours. This video is hopefully a jumping off point or a furthering point to give you some inspiration on different ways you can move or how you could reframe your movement to make it more embodied, to reframe your current movement practices in a way to where you're really using them to connect with yourself and to help integrate the self-work, the self-care, the self-inquiry, all the good things that you're already doing. I believe consistency is key, as they say. And so with anything, but particularly with embodiment practices, it's important to find things that you can do daily. It doesn't have to be the same thing every day. It doesn't even have to be a similar thing every day, but something each day that allows you to drop into yourself, to connect to new things and reconnect to old things. When moving, practicing yoga, or going to the gym, I often ask myself the question, what am I trying to embody? And I let the answer to that question guide my movement for that day. If I'm trying to cultivate or embody more spaciousness, I may do heart openers or hip openers. If I'm looking to be a little bit more free, I may do a lot of twists. Or if I'm trying to cultivate more creativity or connect more with my wildness, I may do a lot of shaking movement or things that feel more, quote, primal than other things. If I'm feeling like I want to embody more power for that day, maybe I'll lift pretty heavy at the gym or find some power poses to stand in for a little or take on some really invigorating breath work. I know it can seem overwhelming or confusing because there is a level of trust required between you and your body to explore these practices. But the beauty is you have people out there to help, you have support, and through these practices, you will build that trust. In Sonya Taylor's book, The Body is Not an Apology, one of my favorite books in the world, she talks a lot about how everything in this world happens to our bodies. I think very often it's easy to forget that because our body holds our mind and it holds our spirit and our soul and all of these things that really can be tarnished and diminished because of what's happening around us. And with that, it's all also happening to our bodies, and so much of the harm done by the world to individuals and systemically is often done because of the body, because of this lens that people are viewing you through. And it's part of the reason why I think, and not just think, I truly believe that physical practices are so essential to healing and to living like a holistic life. And my biggest hope is that if your body, for whatever reason, feels limited with its movement, or maybe it does not move, I still want you to know there are embodiment practices for you. Connecting with your senses is an incredible practice of embodiment, and it can really have a huge range from feeling the temperature of the air around you, the way it interacts and feels on your skin, to the scents in the air and the sounds of your space. You don't need to move at all to settle into your senses and allow them to have an exchange with your body. One of my personal favorite ways to do this is cooking. I love the feel of the foods on my hands and the way those textures shift from a raw food to a cooked food. I love every sound of the vegetables being cut, the crack of the salt or pepper into the food, the scooping, the slurping. I truly love it all. It feels so incredibly immersive. And it just really feels like this full circle, full body, full belly way to be embodied, to be grateful and in tune with yourself, to feel like you're nourishing and taking care of yourself. Here I just made some really simple black bean soup. As you saw earlier, I cut up some vegetables, potatoes, carrots, onions, and some garlic, simmered that until it was all soft, and then I added some black beans in, added some seasonings, just some classic things, smoked paprika, cumin, salt, pepper, garlic, and then I blended about 3/4 of it, added a little bit of milk to make it creamy, and that was really it. I served it with some pepitas and some toast. It was incredible. Every time I move in a different way and I can feel myself really drop into my body, I learn something new, I reconnect to something old, and I feel most myself when I am truly in my practices. And I try to do something every day that feels relevant to where I am that day and feels honest to who I am that day, knowing that every day offers me a new opportunity to shake my own hand and just be with myself and whatever I'm bringing to the world that day, whatever I'm bringing to my world that day. I am a huge fan of free movement, of shaking and rattling yourself around, of swinging your hair and making contact with your body. This type of messy, unstructured movement is honestly some of my favorite because I feel liberated. I feel free to be myself in all its ways, in all its forms. And it's truly a practice of pleasure, of embodied freedom, of embodied liberation. I feel soft, I feel strong, I feel as if I'm embodying power in some very feminine forms for me. And if you're watching this thinking, I could never do that, honestly, I thought that for a long time too, and it's taken me a while to get to where I am. And this is my way, this is my form, and this video is so that you can feel inspired to find your way. Because there's no wrong way to be a body, and there's no wrong way to be embodied. We're having a really lovely thunderstorm right now, and Snoop does not like it. It's really dark in my home after what feels like a really long summer of light, and the equinox is coming up, a new moon is coming up. I can feel the shift. I don't know about y'all, but I can really feel a shift. I feel really welcome, I feel really open. I feel really excited for new things, and I feel really excited to share with y'all. So thank you for being here. I hope you found something useful from this video. If you have any questions, commentary, curiosities, please leave them below. Thanks for sharing your time with me. It's truly something I'm grateful for, and I don't take it for granted. Thank you again, and I hope to see you in another video.